Hi there, my name's Cindy Davis. I'm the Content Director for AV Technology. And with me is Nia Celestin, Head of Marketing at DTEN. We're here to talk about a topic that is huge, but we're going to make it more specific to the hybrid workplace, and that is AI in the hybrid workplace. So, Nia, let's first start off with what is AI?
Yeah, there's some confusion around the definition of what constitutes an AI technology versus a smart or an intelligent technology. And sometimes defining AI is also defining not just what it is, but also what it is not. So what it is not is pattern recognition, for example, counting faces in a meeting room, knowing how many people are in the room, things of that nature. That's not AI, that's smart technology. AI really rests on learning algorithms built into the technology that evolve the technology over time based on the user's interaction with the technology.
Oh, that's a great description, because I think a lot of folks really are getting that confused with the what exactly what it is not, and the counting. People are kind of nervous about that as well. So, general AI, what does that mean for the workplace then?
Well, it's evolving every day and it's taking on deeper meaning as things like ChatGPT come online. So what we know as a consequence of that type of AI, that knowledge workers are some of those functions and tasks that knowledge workers have are going to be able to be more efficiently replaced with AI. So we can look at something like ChatGPT and say, is that a good copywriter for your organization? Does it help your existing copywriters do a better job, a faster job, a more efficient job? So we're going to see changes like that happen in just sort of general productivity for the knowledge worker, but it also has consequences for the meeting room and video conferencing specifically, because AI in the meeting room means that we aren't just sort of counting the people in the room, but we are getting the best possible image of the person in the room, for example, from multiple cameras that are learning where people are sitting, where people are moving to, right? It's taking multiple pictures of an individual and selecting the best picture out of them all to be displayed in the video meeting.
That's interesting. So, is it really getting to learn me as an individual?
It really learns in the instance that I'm talking about in terms of video conferencing camera technology. It's learning the room and it's learning you. So if you get up and move from one place to another place, the camera angle is going to change. The camera is going to follow you where you are, and it's going to look at all the images of you that are available, and it's going to say which is the best image for this meeting experience.
So you had mentioned pattern recognition earlier, and so how does that differ?
Well, it's really about how the technology interacts with you as you interact with the technology. So as you move, for example, into a portrait mode or a landscape mode from an image perspective, most technology will recognize you as a face, even if you're in a slight portrait mode, like off to the side, and it'll count you and it'll recognize that's a human being. But AI recognizes that the human being has moved, that the human being is no longer centered in the meeting experience, and it wants to create a better meeting experience for everybody, remote and in the room. So it's going to select the best image of you based on your behavior in the meeting.
So I know that DTEN has been doing a lot of research with AI and incorporating AI into your products. So what does AI mean for DTEN and the different product technologies that you're incorporating that into?
Sure. For us at DTEN, AI is really about introducing learning algorithms into our technologies, whether it is our touch technology, for example, that learns how you write at the board and begins to understand sort of how you form letters or numbers or shapes or whatever the case may be, and it will anticipate your writing style, and so it reduces the latency dramatically versus sort of standard or traditional latency expectations on a whiteboard experience. From a camera tech perspective, we are using learning algorithms to do what I just described, which is really identify how to present you in your best light in a meeting environment, even when the meeting environment shifts or changes. So people come in, they leave the room, for example. It changes the image of you in that space according to where you are in the space, where you move to in the space. It gives you a panoramic view of the room in its entirety, for example. So you're getting more data about what's happening in the meeting experience.
And how about audio in that meeting space?
Yeah, well, DTEN, we have smart audio, so we rely on DSP technology there. It's not a learning algorithm that's sort of making adjustments based on your interaction with the technology, but rather it's detecting sound levels, for example, and making sound adjustments accordingly. It has audio boundary technology built in so that you can create an area in which you can hear. And then when you move out of that area, you can no longer hear what's going on in the meeting. So it's sort of an invisible fence of audio, for example. All of that is really intelligent and smart technology, but I wouldn't classify that as AI.
Great point. I think I've heard sometimes those getting conflated a bit. So that's great. But they all work together. Is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. Great. So I know that you just recently launched a new product at Infocom. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, we've launched a couple of new things at Infocom this year, but both of the products that we're introducing are really centered around camera technology. So we have introduced what's called the DTEN View Pro. This camera system, it's a 4-set camera system, is built and designed as an accessory to the D7X product, which is an all-in-one video conferencing system. So it really produces a 5-camera 4K system that's available in any conference room. And what's happening there is that the cameras are mounted on the sides of the device, and there's 2 sets of cameras. So there's near-term cameras and far-end cameras. So one of the sort of big problems in video conferencing is that even when you have a wider lens angled camera in the meeting room, people who are on the sidelines tend to be kind of chopped out of the video meeting. So if you have, for example, somebody sitting on the outside of a table taking notes or something like that, that person tends not to make it into the actual meeting. With our technology, 2 of the side cameras actually have a narrow focus field of view on the peripheral. So it really brings those sidelined people right into the meeting. It also, because it's looking at you from different angles, is going to take the angle of you that puts you in the best light in the meeting experience. So for example, if I'm sitting like this and a regular camera is catching me in profile, right, the D10 View Pro will actually catch me in multiple ways. It'll catch me in a variety of positions, and it'll select the best position for the meeting, which is portrait mode. So that even though I might actually be sitting like this from a standard camera view, I appear like this in the video meeting. The far end cameras also solve for a classic kind of problem that happens with video conferencing camera technology. And that is, the further away you go from the camera, the more pixelated or blurry the image becomes. So these cameras are designed to have, again, a narrower field of view, but focused on the far end, so that you look the same, whether you're 7 feet, 14 feet, or even up to 30 feet away from the camera. Nobody kind of in the video meeting would recognize that you're 30 feet away. You would appear, right, just as I appear now, as if I'm much closer to the camera. And so it solves for that fisheye effect, the blurry, the jitter, all of those things that sort of happen at distance with video conferencing cameras. The D10 View Pro solves for that.
Is there an optimal room size or limit to how many people could be in that conference?
It's not based on sort of the number of people in the room, but it is based on distance. So it can go up to 30 feet and provide the same pixelated clarity as if you were 4 feet away from the camera.
I don't know how many people you want to pack into a room anyway, but so an average meeting size.
Well, it depends on the device in the room itself. So for example, if you had a D7X 55-inch, and you added the cameras to it, it would be ideal for a smaller or mid-sized conference
Mhm.
room. But if you bought the D7X Dual, which is two 75-inch screens side by side with one another, and you added the camera system there, it would be appropriate for a much larger or extra large room.
Absolutely. So when are those shipping?
The D10 View and the D10 Dual, which is the other product we are announcing at InfoComm, are available today.
Oh, wow. That's shocking.
Yeah, we're really excited about the D7X family of products. We have a 55-inch, we have a 75-inch, we have an Android edition, a Windows edition. We are Zoom and Microsoft certified for those devices. We also have a dual setup at 75 inches. So it really accommodates a range of what folks are looking for in their conference rooms in terms of sizes, in terms of platform, in terms of functionality.
How about as far as remote management of the devices?
Sure, D10 offers what we call D10 Orbit service, which is our customer support platform. It is a single pane of glass where you can monitor your fleet of D10 devices from a single dashboard. It allows you to quickly, for example, connect with support if you're having any issues whatsoever. And we have a host of support plans available to meet every need.
Right. So management, monitoring, it's all part of that dashboard. Nice. Thanks, Nia. That was really interesting to learn about how DTEN is incorporating AI technology and really new exciting products. So tell us how folks can get in touch with you.
Well, you can always visit us at www.d10.com, and you can purchase a D10 device from any D10 authorized dealer.
Great. Well, thank you. Can't wait to see it in person.
Thanks, Cindy.